Hi Forester Dragons, we're back today to work on our coloring process for our picture. I'm going to go ahead and take you out to look at the color wheel so you can really see. Now, the color wheel is like the rainbow, which is Roy G. Biv. So if I write the words, let me see if I can get a marker open here. So Roy G. Biv. Can you see that? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet, or purple. Okay, so that's the color wheel and that's the rainbow. It kind of helps you maybe a little bit, but you're going to be creating that color wheel for me, okay? But we're keeping it simple. We're going to just do that dot in the middle. Remember, we've already drawn it, so we're going to create that color wheel. Our Roy G. Biv, okay? Let's go ahead and get started on our color wheels and our pictures. So you're going to create a resist. What's a resist, Miss Eskew? A resist is when you use the wax and the crayon to resist the water from the watercolor. Now, if you don't have watercolors, you can't really do the resist part, but that's okay. So I'm going to use the crayons to keep out the watercolors, right? I already said that. I want my lines to have colors, so I'm going to trace, keeping them the same. So this will all be orange. This one will all be blue. Now, I don't want you to get the watercolors into your apple. So because of that, I'm actually going to have you take a black or a color and trace just the outside of your apple, because I don't want the watercolors to get in. And remember, this wax works as a barrier to keep the watercolors out. So you can use any color, but I would like you to trace the outside of your apple. The images that you have inside that you've drawn, your favorite place, all those things, I want you to color those with crayon, creating that resist. When you're tracing over your 3 lines, make sure you're keeping them the same colors. Do try to use other colors though, not all the same, just the same on the 3 that are together. Okay, so I am going to trace the outside of my apple. I'm just going to use the black crayon to create that resist. Okay, see that? Now, I'm going to also trace the shapes themselves with the crayon. So I'm going to go in here using different colors and trace my shapes. And if you have any messy pencil lines, you can erase those. Whatever you need to do. see so far. Now, I'm going to color my items inside my drawings. I'm going to start to color them, and I'm using crayons for that resist. If you have a fine tip Sharpie, like a thin permanent black marker, you can outline them, and that'll really make them stand out. If you don't have that, then just color it in with the crayons. And I'll show you what I mean in just a minute. Okay, so if I wanted to take that fine tip, that smaller Sharpie, and I could go in here on the swords and trace them before I color them, my lightsaber and my sword. You can kind of see how I traced it first, and then I can go in and use the crayon and color, pressing hard. And you can see how I color. Do you see the difference of tracing with the black as compared to not? So either way, you need to fill it in with the crayon. The only one you're not filling in with the crayon, but I do want you to trace with the crayon, is the color wheel. And I'm going to take a dark gray for that because I want a sharp tip, because I've got to get in there and trace those lines. You don't need to trace them if you wrote P for purple like Miss Askew did or anything. You don't have to trace that, just the dividing lines of your color wheel. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and finish coloring my other items. I am going to trace because I like the way it looks. Okay, so I keep going. Coloring my bowl. Remember, color in one direction. Fill it in as hard as you can because that works as a resist, keeping the water out. Because around your ice cream or your food or whatever you put, your favorite food, you're going to be using that watercolor. So if you don't press hard enough, the watercolor will get inside. Okay. And do some chocolate ice cream. Chocolate with chocolate chips. Okay. That's great. you can see my ice cream. And then I've got to color these last two sections. I'm going to go ahead and pause it because I don't want you to have to watch everything, and I'll bring you back when I'm done. Okay, I'm back with you. You can see I have finished coloring everything. And in areas, I didn't just color the water blue, I added other shades of blue, and same on the green. Mix in other shades, whether you're using crayons, markers, whatever you're using, colored pencils. Now I'm ready for the watercolor. So I'm going to take the watercolors, and in your background that is around your apple, this empty space, I want you to choose one color. You can see I chose blue. I want you to choose one color, and I want you to make it very light, not dark. So the way you do that is you pick your color. I'm going to do red. And when I start to apply it, you can see how bright it is. Well, I'm going to add more water. If I add more water, it lightens the color. So I'm always going to be using water and then the color. And I'm going to color all around. Now you're going to do the same in your pictures, you know, your little drawings, your favorite things, and your color wheel. You're going to paint a simple color. Now, let's go ahead and do the color wheel. So for the red section, I want you to paint it red. Okay. For the orange section, paint it orange. Leaving those areas in between for right now. We're not to those yet. We're skipping those. And if you get a little too much water, use a little Kleenex to kind of suck up some of the water. Make sure you wash your brush really well. Okay, in the yellow section. And then I'm going to do the green section. Okay. And then the blue. And then the purple. Okay. Now I'm going to make those in between sections. So I'm going to go back because I did red first. I'm going to add one line of red and one line of the orange. And then I'm going to get that red-orange. And I got a little messy on the outside, but just be careful. And then I'm going to take the orange, add a line there, and then add a line of the yellow to make that yellow-orange. Okay, and I'm going to do that all the way around. So then I'm going to take a line of yellow and a line of green, making that yellow-green. I'm going to take a line of the green and a line of the blue, making that blue-green. And then I'm going to take that line of that blue again and a line of the purple, making that blue-purple. And then a line of the purple and a line of the red. And now I've got that. And then my color wheel is complete. Okay, now remember, in each section, pick a color and then use more water than paint. And your crayon should resist where you've colored hard, so you should be able to color right over. Don't ever mush your brush, just get some more water. And each section, color a color, like in the empty spaces. So up here, I could add some blue in the sky. Over here in Disney, I could add a sunny day, or I could have blue or whatever color I want. Okay. Around the easel, I could pick a color. But if I'm doing red in my outer area, you probably shouldn't put red in your bubbles or in your shapes. Use a different color. And remember, use lots and lots of water. Okay, thanks.